Hi, it's your coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to my latest Practice Power blog post. Hey, let's this week continue our conversation with the DNA of top producers, our soon-to-be new e-learning series on PracticePower.net. Hey, last week I did markers number 1 to 3. And in this, hopefully, it'll be a shorter video this week. Let's cover markers 4, 5, and 6 in a kind of a big picture way. And then, obviously, when we post the e-learning to Practice Power, you can do a deep dive and do some work around that. So, marker number 4, what are we looking at here? So, marker number 4 is really our written daily game plan. You know, every advisor, if you're really going to maximize your potential, maximize what you do, we need to be operating with a written daily game plan. Now, where do you create that daily game plan? Well, there's a couple different options you have. You can do it the day before, the night before, the morning of, on your way to the office, at Starbucks, but you never, ever, ever look to create your daily game plan when you hit the office. Because by then, guess what? It's too late. You're going to see the blinking red light. You're going to have the inbox, right, the colleagues, and it's game on. So what we want to do is really create our game plan before we come in. What are some of the elements of a written a daily game plan? Number one, contacts. Who are we going to call? And that's probably going to be split up into two chunks, right? Clients and then prospects. So who are we going to call, on both sides? How many appointments do we need to set? So review appointments first, in terms of prospect meetings. How many introduction or referral conversations are we going to have today? So, I mean, there's some elements there that you can, really kind of take a look at it and say, here's some things that I need to drive. If you don't have a daily game plan in writing, you'll be busy. You just won't be as effective. So, and let me be very clear. There's a common misnomer in this business that being busy is a good thing. Being busy usually means that we're reacting and reactive to things. It does not usually mean we're driving it the way we want to. So that's critically important. The other thing about a written daily game plan is it allows you to keep score. So, you can find out how many contacts you've done, how many introduction conversations that you've had. It's critically important. Now, where do you keep this daily game plan? You could, quite frankly, you could go ahead and put on a legal pad, a spreadsheet, inside of your CRM. So if you're using like Redtail or Juncture, or if your firm has their own version of things, you could probably put it there. But it has to be in writing. All right. If you don't have it, you'll just wander throughout the day, and ultimately that's not where we want to be. I find that a powerful morning ritual and a daily game plan, I call that 1A and 1B in my quote unquote coaching philosophy. When I get a client to go ahead and put together a powerful morning success ritual and then operate with a written daily game plan that they can check things off, all good things will happen. That's 80% of being successful in this business. It's the basics. And I think a lot of times advisors get bored with the basics. Think about it this way. What would happen if next time you get on a plane, the pilot just said, well, you know what? I'm bored with this checklist. It's boring. Man, I've been flying for 20 years. It never changes. It's the same damn checklist. Let's just not worry about it today. We don't need a plan. We'll just go, right? Imagine that. So it's supposed to be boring. I always say this to my clients. If this business is done properly, it is like Groundhog's Day pretty much every tactical day. The business is supposed to be boring. You don't want it to be exciting. You want excitement? Hey, that's what the bucket list is for, right? To go out and kind of accomplish things, go travel, experience life. Hey, go get your juice out there. Your business, you want it as boring as humanly possible. Excitement, to me, is like 2008, 2009. So if you want some, excitement in your life, I guess we can look for another one of those moments, right? Another, Lehman moment, perhaps, and then we can have all the excitement we want. But until the next time, let's keep things boring with a written daily game plan. Next marker. This is a critical. This is very interesting to me. Over the last 5 years, I've started to ask advisors that come into our space that want to retain us. I ask them about a written business plan, and usually only about 3 out of 10 have something that is even remotely decent. But now I've started to ask about financial plans, business budgets. And you know what I find too? It's literally the same people that don't plan for their business, don't have a business budget, and even scarier, they don't have their own personal financial plan or retirement plan or whatever. It's the classic case of the cobbler's kids not having any shoes, right? You have to come from a position of congruency to influence effectively. So if you're going to ask somebody for their financial goals, and if you're going to ask somebody to do a financial plan or a retirement plan or a cash flow plan, you better at minimum have a written business budget and optimally have your own written financial plan. Imagine what would happen if you went ahead and were in your business and your prospects start to ask you, well, how long is your financial plan? Can I see a copy? Can I at least see it exist? What if prospects and clients start to challenge us on it, right? It'd be kind of scary. You need to make time to go do this. Look, I eat my own cooking, and I always tell my clients to do the same thing. I take 5 to 10% of my income. I have my own coach. I use specialty coaches, whether it's marketing or some other things, seminars. Last year I spent $20,000 on a 5-day seminar, right? I mean, you do what you need to do so you can come from a place of congruency. So just keep that in mind. And what we want to do is make sure you have those budgets and update it. And not that we're going to go and show anybody what we have, but you're not lying. You're being open and honest and congruent. Because I'll tell you, humans can tell when somebody else is incongruent. There's minor shifts in body language, voice quality patterns, eye movement, and subconsciously we're very sensitive to that. So keep that in mind. And the last one I want to cover, which is maybe for some of you is the most important one, is healthy. Now, I've always said this is a business of emotional and physical energy. You got to have emotional energy. So you got to be there for clients, be there for prospects, be emotionally engaged, ask the tough questions, overcome objections, right? Compel people to take action. You need that emotional reserve, and you also need that physical energy reserve. And if you're sabotaging yourself because you're not eating right, and this is what I've always said. Hey, look, at night when you're home, not that I don't care what you do, but I really don't care what you do. You want to go knock off a six-pack and a sub or a couple hot dogs? I don't think it's a good idea, by the way, but hey, go knock yourself out. But lunch, I want you to eat like a rabbit. I want you eating for energy. I don't want any mid-afternoon crashes. I want you to have as much energy throughout the day as possible, and I want you to take care of yourself. There's so many, I go to these conferences, and I go speak, whether it's for a 45-minute keynote or I'm doing a full-day training, and I see these advisors in the room, and man, it's look like they're on their last legs. It's scary, and I sit there and say to myself, how does this person produce results? How does this person at 3 o'clock in the afternoon do a review? Or do they just go through the motions? See, that's the difference. It's easy in this business to delude yourself that if you just look at time, man, I had a long day today. Boy, I really struggled through the day, but I got through it, that was a good day for you. It wasn't. The goal for you was to get through the day, not drive the day. You cannot drive if you do not have energy. Now, I've said this. I've never been able to say to any of my clients, or when I'm asked this question, how much more business can I do if I go get my CFP? How much more business can I do if I go get my SEMA or my CFA or whatever? It's marginal at best, quite frankly, because when's the last time you got hired solely based on your credentials? Think about that, right? But I will say this. I've seen clients of mine and clients of my firm who have increased their business 20, 30, 40% by knocking off 20, 30, 40 pounds, by taking the budget for that SEMA or that CFA and going to get a personal trainer and get held accountable and go see a nutritionist and get held accountable. All those things matter. So I just want to keep that in mind so for some of you who are already athletically inclined, hey, you know what? Keep that up to the day you die. For those who are sitting there saying, man, it's hard, I'm busy, I have my family, my kids, you know what? I'd rather you work 90 minutes less each day and get to the gym than tell yourself, I have no time to get to the gym, because here's what's going to happen. Your brain will go, we can't afford to be gone 90 minutes. We have so much to do. But if you think about the amount of time that the average advisor wastes by just kind of, doing what they do, right? What the average advisor just kind of mails in because they're just hanging out, I guarantee it's more than 90 minutes a day. So no excuses here, okay? And the last thing I want to say is, March is coming to an end in a couple of weeks. Please make sure you get some downtime. March is one of those beautiful months of the year. It's literally 5 full business weeks. Grab some downtime. Make sure we keep the energy levels charged. And then also, if you wake up one morning soon and you say, you know what, it's time to take my world to the next level, I'm ready for you. Fill out the practice evaluation. Love to spend some time with you, digging in and seeing about what we need to do to get you to your ultimate self. Till next week, it's Coach Joe Lucas. Have a successful week. Work on those daily game plans. Get your financial plans updated, and make sure you eat right.